This is a proud moment for the Falklands. Here they come to get their bronze medals at this football competition, led by the captain Wayne Clement as well, and the boys themselves happy, and they're getting a nice round of applause. Pleased to say that quite several hundred people from Bermuda who watched the final. The field itself is a little bit rough because there's been quite a lot of complaints about this field, about the rough surface, so I don't know how that's going to affect the match. And we've just been told we might have to shift from where we are, because I'm sitting on the edge here tonight because it's the best place to be. I don't think we're going to cause any trouble. So the Falklands, they've played Shetlands twice before. They played in 2005 in the opening match and they lost 4-0. Shetlands went on to win the gold medal there in that match up in Shetlands, and we played them again more recently and lost 5-0. And the situation tonight is Shetlands need lots and lots of goals to stand any chance of getting through to the semi-finals. In today's earlier games, Greenland 2, Bermuda 3, which meant that Bermuda won the group with 9 points and qualified for the semi-finals. And then in Group 4, Jersey beat St Helena 5-0, and with 9 points, they've qualified as for the semi-finals as well. In the other match there, Menorca 0, Gozo 1, so Gozo actually finished with 6 points, which was pretty decent. Greenland, who were the finalists 6 years ago when they lost to Isle of Man, are actually eliminated, but only the group winners go through. Right, well, the Falklands team tonight, there's a few changes as you might expect. There's been quite a few injuries, and the team will line up with Ross Peters in goal as ever. Corin Hart will play right back, Josh Peck will be centre, Daniel Steer on his left, and there's two wing backs, Dec Bonner on the right, Matt Francis on the left, Mateus Reyes, Toby Adioe and Sean East. who I believe is 20 years old today. So happy birthday, Sean. Let's hope you have a good game. Ethan Gilson-Clark up front alongside of Ethan George. That's the team. A lot of injuries, so Jake Hawksworth, Jordan Betts, Eva Mensefu and Macaulay Blood are not Malachi Blood, and they're not considered for the game because of injuries. So we have Matthew Hansen, Axel Reed, Dane Gilson-Clark, Jose Castro and Andreas Baladeros will be on the subs bench. Now for the Shetlands, they're resting a few players too. They have Rory Henderson in goal, Thomas Smith, Lorne McKibben, Liam Flaws and James Farmer at the back four, James Aitken, Harry Thompson and Jack Simpson in the middle three, Finn Reagan, Sam Maver and Declan Adamson are their front three. So that's the game, and the game has just kicked off, and it's back with Josh Peck, and he plays it through trying to find Ethan. No, dear, I can't do the commentary from anywhere else. I'm not going to cause any bother or anything. Pardon? We might have to move here. I'm being quite pedantic about this because I'm sitting on the wall and there's other people standing. It's just an internal issue here with a very officious lady who insists that I can't sit on the wall because it's not much easier for us because we've got to go in the stand tonight. There's nowhere else for us to go. We normally try and find a good vantage point, but we're not allowed to do that. So it looks like there might be a bit of problems about that. But back to the game. Shetland's on the attack, but the ball runs out. It's not a big ground like the Pierre Blanche, the first ground that we had, which was a very, very big ground. This is a much smaller ground here, and I don't know who it'll suit, but the surface is quite rough. It's going to be a throw-in for the Falklands to be taken just down in front of us on the far side of the field, and Josh Peck will take this, the captain of the Falklands team, throws it long, but it's headed up and clear by Shetlands, and it'll be another throw for the Falklands to be taken right in front of us, where Tyrone has got the FITV camera that he's filming here tonight for the game. It's one in the air by Shetlands. Toby wins it in the air nicely, tries to find Ethan Gilson-Clark. He does find him. Sean East is now on the ball. Nice work by Sean East, number 8. Puts it through to Ethan, but Ethan couldn't quite collect that ball. So it's Sean is tackling back, trying to win the ball back again. But it goes out on the right-hand side there for Adamson. But Adamson plays it through, trying to find the big tall lad Maver, number 11, quite a big lad. Sean East on the ball again. He's involved already. He's been pumped and harassed and pushed over, and he managed to retain his balance, but the referee we thought might give a free, but he didn't. But Matt Francis, as ever, very steady, sure, comes in, intercepts, plays it back to Torren Hart, and it looks like the Falklands could concede. Oh no, Torren Hart puts up his hand in apology. That was a little bit of an error at the back. I thought that ball was going to roll in. He passed it back to Ross Peters to Torren, and Ross was too far out. Well, not too far out. He was a bit further out than Torren thought. But luckily it rolled past the post, but it does go out for a corner, and in it comes a long high ball, and the header goes up, and it's a shot over the bar there by Thompson, goes over the bar. Ross looks like he might have hurt himself. He came out high for that ball, but no, he's up. He's a very brave keeper, is Ross. He is not the tallest keeper around, but he'll go for the high balls regardless, and on this occasion it went sailing over his head, but Thompson put the ball over the bar. Daniel Steer plays the ball out, but unfortunately it only finds the number 9 Finn Reagan. Reagan on the ball coming through, and it's passed on the inside. There's some danger here for the Falklands once again. Bit of a desperate clearance here by Reyes. And Mateus Reyes, and the ball eventually goes out, and it comes off a Shetland player on the far side of the field, and it will be a throw-in. No, it'll be a free, I think. It's a free kick for the Falklands. It must have been offside. Torren Hart's got the ball, plays it out here in front of us to Deck Bonner, number 7 on his shirt. Deck goes backwards towards his own penalty area, and now he turns and he twists and he plays it through to Ethan Gilson-Clark. Plays it through to Reyes. Reyes a little bit further back and across field, where it goes via Josh Peck to Daniel Steer. But it's interception there by Shetland once again. But it does run off a Shetland player. So Falklands at the moment looking steady. They're keeping 2 men there up front. The 2 Ethans, Ethan George and Ethan Gilson-Clark, are both up on the halfway line. at this moment, so it does mean that the Shetlands have got to keep players back to keep an eye on them. So we always say, if you're on the offensive, then you're not on the defensive. Well, let's hope that works tonight. It's going to be a free kick for Shetlands, just inside the Falklands half, to be taken over on the far right by James Aiken. I think he's one of the veterans of Scotland, Aiken. I seem to remember commentating on him there. It's a long high ball coming in. It's dangerous. It's a chance, an opportunity, and it just goes wide off the post. Oh yes, it was an opportunity. All right, the ball swung in. There was a nice kick coming in there, and the number 4, the big man from the back, Lorne McNiven, was up there. But it came off a Falklands player, and he's gone out for another corner kick over on the left-hand side to be taken, and it's a right wing, a right-footed in-swinger. In it comes. It's a danger. Oh, and well done, Ross Peters. He comes up nicely. He floats up there nicely, and he palms it over the bar. There wasn't much else he could do but put it over his own crossbar for another corner kick. Falklands under quite a bit of pressure. They really can't get the ball downfield at the moment. Shetland's putting them under tremendous pressure, and it'll be another corner, and it will be taken once more over here from the left wing by the right-footed. I think that's Thomas Smith who's taken those corners, or I think it is anyway, or was it Jack Simpson? It's either number 2 or number 20. I'm not sure. Can't quite see the number because he's back on to me now. A lot of movement in the pitch. The ball comes in high, the header comes in, but it's cleared. Still danger. Sean East manages to get a foot to it, gets it clear, but it runs out over the touchline on the far side of the field, well inside the Falklands half. Still danger for the Falklands. Throw in comes in, headed clear there by Dan Steer to the halfway inside the Falklands half for another throw for Shetlands. Shetlands maintaining possession, putting the Falklands under a lot of pressure at the moment. And it comes across field here now from McNiven. It comes across to the big number 3, Jack Adamson. And these Shetland supporters behind us are making a lot of noise at the moment. Falklands got supporters here too. It's a long high ball, a long shot comes in, and it's wide of the goal, and it will be a goal kick to relieve the pressure on the Falklands. Quick word from Chris Inan.
Yes, Patrick, good start by Shetland, certainly. The Falklands a little bit under the cosh. Having been speaking to Troyd and Wayne earlier in the week when they went to watch Shetlands v Innismon, they felt the Shetland Islands were very unlucky to lose the match to Innismon, so clearly a good football inside, and obviously they showed that the other night with a 3-2 victory over Isle of Man as well. But yeah, Scotland, the Falkland Islands at the minute under a lot of pressure, and they'll need to keep their concentration levels up to make sure they don't go behind early.
Yep, so early stages, but Falklands yet to make any really serious attack, and there's more trouble again. Here's a shot comes in, but well taken by Ross Peters. Grabs that, clutches it to his chest, falls down on his haunches, picks himself up, and slows everything down, brings it out to the edge of the area. It's going to be maybe a high ball. I don't think he'll risk a short one here. Nope, he kicks it high, doesn't really go too far, comes up to the halfway line. Deck Bonner is going for it, but he loses out, and now there's more danger down the left from Maeva, I should say, not Maeva, Sam Maeva. There's more danger for the Falklands, but this time quick interception there, I think from Torrin Hart it was, so it'll be a throw in for Shetland Islands, playing all blue incidentally. They're all in blue and with white socks. Falklands in their red strip and their white shirts and blue socks. Now the ball's over here on the right from Aiken. Aiken puts it in high. Josh Peck wins it nicely in the air, and there's a clash there between Toby and Shetland Islander, but they both get up. Neither of them suffered any injury. Deck Bonner gets that ball clear, tries to find Ethan George. Ethan George now plays nicely, plays it back to Gilson Clark. Gilson Clark, a nice touch, gets the ball back from Toby. Nice work from Toby. Gilson Clark. Reyes here, but his pass was a little bit rough. That's the best movement the Falklands had, but the final ball, unfortunately, just was a little bit too long, and Deck couldn't pick it up. Deck was trying to sprint down, as he always does, down that right side, because he's playing sort of a right wing back position tonight. He was trying to get down over the halfway line to pick that ball up, but it didn't quite reach him, and Reyes acknowledges that his pass wasn't the best, but there was good movement there between the two Ethans, Gilson Clark and George. and Torrin Hart takes that away over to the far side of the field, and over there he finds, I think it's Matt Francis, who's attacking down the left on the far side. Matt twists, got the ball, lovely ball into Ethan Gilson-Clark from Matt Francis. Ethan passes it back to Francis via Steer. Now down the left, Sean East running for it. Sean East there doing some nice footwork on the far side, being pushed and shoved by the defender, and lots of noise coming from the Falkland supporters saying to the referee, come on. There was a lot of too much shoving going on there, and young Sean East, very slight lad of course, but very talented, he got the worst of it, but we still did get the throw. Goes back to Sean East again, he steadies himself, he passes it nicely back to Gilson-Clark. Gilson-Clark trying to find Francis over on the far side of the field. I don't know who that went off, but it's a free. It is a free, yes. We've got a free kick there on the far side of the field. Looks like Matt Francis will take it with his left foot. So nice to see the Falklands in the other half of the field for the first time tonight, really, and pressing a little bit. Who goes up? Torrin Hart, I think, is going up. Toby's up there, long high ball comes in, nice high ball, a nice header comes in. That was a nice header from Torrin Hart, but unfortunately it was a little bit wide, but it was a well-worked free kick, nice free kick from Matt Francis, and Torrin Hart rose above everybody else. Tall lad, of course, very tall, slim lad. He rose above everybody else and won that header nicely, but unfortunately it flashed wide of the post, so no problems for the keeper, Rory Henderson. He's all in green as well, like our keeper is Ross Peters. Ball comes out, Dec Bonner gets his foot on it, plays it through to Toby. Toby can't quite control it, but he does regain possession, plays it back to Daniel Steer, just outside the Falklands penalty here. Daniel Steer with a long ball, trying to find Ethan George, but a bit misdirected, and in fact it goes out for a throw in just about on the halfway line over where the dugouts are on the far side of the field. Throw in picked up by Thompson through to Simpson, and now it's been played across the field here to the left hand side, and the Falklands defence is a bit opened up here now by Adamson. Adamson's going to cross the ball, he goes across with it, and in comes ever reliable Mr. Josh Peck, comes in low and he steers that out over his own goal line for a corner kick. So another corner, this must be the fourth corner, I think it is, for Shetlands, coming in from the left-hand side. There's a high ball coming in, and I think that was Matthias Rios got his foot to it, and the shot comes in, but it's very wide, it's high, in fact it was high. James Aiken, number 8, took a shot from just about the edge of the penalty area, but it went sailing over Ross Peters' goal. So the score line, if you're just joining us here at the Northerners ground, it's Falkland Islands 0, Shetland Islands 0. This group will be decided by probably the result of the Innismon and Isle of Man game, which has been played simultaneously. It is conceivable that if Shetland scored a lot of goals here and Guernsey was to, not Guernsey, I should say, Isle of Man was to beat Innismon, things could change, but we won't try and work out those permutations because they've got all sorts of different things, goes to fair play and yellow cards and so on and so forth. Free kick, I think, will come in there for a little push in the back by Daniel Steer. Had a good game yesterday. His first match of the tournament was yesterday. He played very well. He's in the team again tonight, playing on the left side of the back three. The free kick is going to be taken away over on the far side of the field from where we're commentating. It's going to be a left in swinger, and I think that's probably Smith over there on the far side. Back onto me, can't see the numbers of course from here at this moment. They're all bunching inside the area. There's a lot of nothing going on. It's a low ball coming in. Josh Peck gets his foot to it, manages to block it. There's action on the edge, and it's Ethan George who comes away and wins it. But unfortunately, I think it was Gilson. Ethan George didn't quite retain it. I couldn't quite see over there who the ball came off, but Josh Peck comes out of there and wins it, tries to find Dec Bonner, but Dec Bonner wasn't able to get hold of it, but Torrin Hart comes over to help out his fellow defender, and the ball rebounds and it goes back to Ross Peters, who gathers it, and he plays it short to Torrin Hart, advancing just outside of his own penalty area, plays it short to Dec Bonner, and unfortunately Dec wasn't able to retain possession. It ran under his foot, so it'll be a throw in to be taken right here in front of us by James McParter, and who's James Farmer, I should say. Farmer, his name is. He's on the left side of the back four of the Shetland team. 0-0 as we now proceed into this game. We're coming up to 20 minutes into the game, and Falklands have been under quite a bit of pressure, but they've withstood it very well, and things aren't going too bad, I don't think. What do you think, Chris Ireland?
Yeah, Patrick, I think the Falklands are withstanding. The defence is standing up to it. Again, we're not getting much composure on the ball, and the Shetland's on the attack now on the left-hand side. A shot from number 7. Peters deals with it well. It's come off Ross Peters' chest, and he tried to save it. It's been put in at point-blank range by the number 9 for the Shetland Islands, which is Finn Regan. Unfortunately, the Falklands had held out well until that point. I've got to say the composure on the ball hadn't been there, the passing hadn't been there, and the Shetland Islands had been really putting the pressure on the Falklands for the whole of the first 15-16 minutes we've had so far, and that's unfortunately resulted in that goal going in there from Regan for Shetland.
Who scored? Regan.
Regan.
Oh, yeah. Chris told you. We had Deck Bonner down outside the penalty area injured. I suppose the referee allows play to go on, but of course it was a misfortune for the Falklands. But then, sadly for Ross, it was Aiken, was it? Okay. Unfortunately for the Falklands, that was one of those that does happen now and again, where the ball bounced off Ross Peters, off his chest, and rebounded straight into the path of, we think it's was Aiken, yeah, number 8. We're told it was Aiken who scored the goal. You probably heard the applause coming in from the Shetland Islanders. This does not look good for Deck Bonner, I have to say. It looks like it's could be calf or whatever. I think he might be struggling to continue with this game because he doesn't go down unless there's something really serious.
And the goal scorer for Shetland Islands, number 9, Finn Regan.
Oh well, they're saying Finn Regan now. They're saying who Chris said it was Finn Regan. I think the Shetland Island of Japan told him it was Aiken, and now it's been restored to Regan, the goal. So we'll go along with what the PA announcer said, which was Finn Regan was the scorer. Declan, oh, he's coming off. He's not limping. He's just strolling off the field now, and it looks like he might be able to continue. I'm not sure, but meanwhile the Falklands will continue 1-0 down with 10 men. Right, he's allowed back on the field. Referee waves Deck on. Daniel Steers got the ball, and he tries to play it down the left-hand side to find one of the forwards, but it bounced off Finn Regan, the goal scorer, and it'll be a throw-in then for the Falklands because it went over the touchline. He throws it through to Matt Francis. Matt Francis trying to get moving down that left side, and now Ethan Gilson-Clark is streaming towards the goal. He's streaming towards the goal. He's still got the ball. Nice work from him, and it goes through to young Shawnees, but it's so unfortunate because it just bounced off his shins and runs out over the touchline for a throw to Shetland Islands away on the far side of the field from where we are positioned. Shawnee Stowe gets that from the throw, and he plays it nicely inside. It looks he played it inside, I think, to Reyes. Reyes loses control of the ball, so it's back to Shetland Islands again. And it's once again it's Thomas Smith over on the right, and he plays it back to his keeper, who hasn't had an awful lot to do yet tonight. Keeper plays it to Lorne McNiven out here in front of us, and now they're advancing down the left-hand side again. Reyes comes across to intercept, but he does put the Shetland Islander player off his stride, and the Falklands win the ball back through Toby. Toby plays it to Shawnees. Shawnees to Gilson-Clark. Gilson-Clark trying to find Deck Bonner, but unfortunately the pass wasn't quite accurate enough, but nevertheless it will run out from the clearance from the blue-shirted Shetland Islander. It'll run out to Deck Bonner, who's grimacing there. It does look as if he's still suffering some pain from that injury that he had. Josh Peck comes in, wins the ball, but unfortunately it doesn't run to a Falkland player in red, it runs to a player in blue, and that was Liam Flores. And Liam Flores plays it up the wing, but it's intercepted by the birthday boy, Sean East. And he does well there because he retained possession and he forced the foul from the Shetland Islanders. So a free kick for the Falklands, which Josh Peck will come forward from his defensive position on the halfway line, plays a long high ball in, trying to find the two Ethans in front, but neither of them can get the ball. But Reyes is challenging, but he's unable to pick it up either, so Shetlands win it again. And once again they're attacking down this left side, right here in front of us, and it's Adamson playing the ball into the middle, and there's going to be a shot coming in. It's a shot coming in wide of the post. It's Wallow, it was wide, it was from the striker Sam Maver, it was wide of the post. Ross Peters pleased to see that just harmlessly go past. Lots of noise from the Shetland Islanders fans behind us. They've got a good contingent here supporting them here tonight. Shetland Islands with the ball inside their own half now. They play it 8 to the left wing, and once again it's that number 7 who's picking it up, Declan Adamson. He's picking up so many balls here on this left side of the field, and the ball's played over to the far right, where the striker Reagan, the goal scorer, is tussling with the ball now with Daniel Steer. He passes the ball back to one of his colleagues, and the ball comes in. There's another shot coming in, and it's just wide of the post as well. That was the Falklands defence was opened up there a little bit too easily, and it was Sam Maver who got that shot in. And for a moment, I thought that ball was heading into the net, but unfortunately flashed wide. Torrin Hart picks the ball up from Ross Peters, plays the ball down, and now Ethan George is running onto it, but he's outnumbered at the back there by Liam Flores and Lorne McNiven, and the ball goes back to the keeper. The keeper gets it out and eventually finds its way over to James Farmer. James Farmer finds this number 7. He's open all the time, the number 7 here, Declan Adamson. He's picking up so many balls, and he's playing 1-2s with his left back, James Farmer, all night so far. They've just been passing that ball back and forward to each other. Now they're advancing over on the far side of the field. There's nice neat work coming in. The cross comes in and it's headed across goal. The shot's going to be coming in, but it's cleared. Toby manages to get a foot to it, clears it, passes it to Ethan. Ethan Gilson Clark plays a nice ball through for Ethan George. That was nice work from Gilson Clark. And Ethan George is tussling on the far side, but as you can tell from the applause, it was a Shetland Islander who won the ball, and that was the big man Flores. Flores plays it way over to the far side of the field now to McNiven. McNiven plays it inside, and once again the number 7 is open here on the far side of the field, and it was Harry Thompson trying to get the ball through to Maver, but Maver lost the ball, lost possession, and Reyes is tussling with the ball there now, but unfortunately at the moment all these 50-50 balls are going to the opposition and not to the Falklands, and that ball was attempted to be crossed from the left side, and Torrin Hart has stood his ground, and the ball bounced off his knee and goes over the goal line for a corner kick to be taken over on the far side by Declan Adamson. He's going to take it right-footed from the left wing. They're always dangerous. The right-footers taking from the left wing. They always swing in. This one is Jack Bonner, I think, got his head to it. Yep, he got his head to it and sees the ball go over the goal line again for another corner kick to be taken by the same player. And up it comes. It's a high one. And Josh Peck takes a big swing at it, didn't quite get hold of it. There's a shot coming in there on the far side of the field by Maver, but it's finally cleared by the Falklands, but only as far as the Shetland Island player on the halfway line. They're advancing again in towards the edge of the Falklands penalty area. There's more danger there for the Falklands, and eventually Torrin Hart steps forward and puts a big boot to it just to relieve the pressure. Kicks it over the halfway line and it goes over on the far side of the field, but it's picked up, needless to say, by Thomas Smith on the right-hand side of the field. And offside it must be. It was indeed, it was offside. Finn Reagan offside on the far side of the field. A very slight dark-haired boy over there. Very fast, though, skillful player. So the Falklands inside their own half will get a free kick from that offside decision. Josh Peck says, leave it to me, I'll take it. He puts it into the opposing half. I think that was Gilson Clark went up to win it, but didn't quite get his head to it. So Shetlands clear it, and they've timed Reagan with it. Reagan plays the ball to Jack Simpson. Simpson plays the ball back now to McNiven. And McNiven over on this side of the field to Jack Farmer. Jack Farmer is looking to pass it to, inevitably, Adamson, and Adamson picks it up again. He's just getting every single ball that is given to him by the left back. And it's Ray on the far side of the field with the goal scorer Finn Reagan. Finn Reagan twists and turns, but Matt Francis did extremely well to dispossess him. And what happens here? I think we're getting a free kick. Yep, for a foul, Shetland Island foul. I think that was on Sean East. So the Falklands will get a free kick over on the far side of the field by the very alert referee's assistant. We've had him before in one of our games, and we thought he was very efficient, I think, all through and fair to both sides. Torrin Hart picks it up from that free kick from Josh Peck. He's finding Toby. Toby manages to retain possession. He holds off a couple of challenges. He plays it through to Deck Bonner. Deck manages to keep it in. He comes inside. Deck's still going inside. He plays it across field back to Josh Peck, retaining possession. Josh comes into the centre circle with the ball, decides then to go sideways to Daniel Steer. Daniel Steer puts a big left foot on it, but doesn't find Matt Francis. In fact, the ball is won by Shetlands, and they've won it back again, as they have so often. But it's not now. It's picked up by Ethan Gilson Clark, and he's unable to get away. He almost made it and got through that posse of defenders, but the Falklands do win the ball back, and it's Gilson Clark wins it again. Toby gets it. There's a lot of rough play going on over the side. Both sides are giving the ball away to each other. Not offside. So Reagan puts the ball across, and Torrin Hart manages just to block it. Good work from Torrin Hart, but it goes back to Reagan inside the Falklands penalty area on the far side of the field. The long high ball comes in and is played across goal, and there's a little bit of a mistake there by Torrin, a missed kick, but no damage done because the ball eventually comes off a Falklands player and runs out for a throw-in on this side of the field over the touchline. But Shetlands throw it in. It's McNiven. He goes back to Farmer into the penalty area. Farmer still got the ball, and as a shot comes in, but it's wide. Oh my goodness, that was about 8 yards out, and I thought for a moment that was going to be number 2, because Farmer did well to work his way into the penalty area past Bonner and Hart. And in fact, it was the number 3 up there, Farmer, who had that shot, and he put it just wide off the post. Tussle in the middle field. Nice work from Sean East. Nice work from Sean. Sean's still on the ball. He's been harassed there now by a Shetland player, but he picks the ball up again, and he's still going with the ball down on the far side of the field. And he's absolutely bowled over by a defender on the far side, who I think it must be Thomas Smith. And surely that must be a free kick to the Falklands, or is it? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a nod of the head from. I didn't hear a whistle, but excuse me. Chris Island says yes, it is. Indeed, it is. And Sean was doing really well there. He took the ball from inside his own half, well deep into the opposition half, over on the far side of the field from where we are on the left, down towards the left wing. And he was pulled over. So there's a free kick. I'm not sure. Deck Bonner's over there with his right foot, and Matt Francis might take it with his left foot. And Torrin Hart's gone up, I think, this time once again. Yes, he has. And the long high ball comes in. Oh, and it's going to run wide out here to the right side, and Torrin's going to pick it up. And there's a tussle going on there, and the ball's still in play. Reyes gets it, plays it to Toby. Toby tries to diff the ball over the head of the defender for Reyes to run onto, but it wasn't anticipated by the Chilean there. Just one of those things, a little misunderstanding between the two players. Torrin Hart now back defending, and he wins that ball, and he's happy to put that over the touchline for a throw-in to Shetland Islands, winning 1-0 here tonight at the Northerners FC Stadium at Northfield. There is a stand here behind us which can hold several hundred people, and it's almost full. Lots of Shetland Islanders. The Falkland Island fans are right down at the far end from us. We hope we'll hear some cheering from them a little bit later. Shetland's on the attack once more through Farmer. Farmer plays it inside to Simpson. Simpson plays it over, trying to find Reagan on the far side of the field. But it's intercepted nicely there by Matt Francis to Sean East. Sean East having a really nice game tonight, holding the ball well, controlling the ball well. And he's trying to get Ethan George away down the left-hand side of the field, but the taller player from Shetland wins it in the air. And it's a bit of a hopeful sort of ball, I think. I'm not quite sure whether the Shetland player, number 8 there, James Aiken, was trying a shot, or whether he wanted to try and get Maver away. But this time the Falklands are offside. But they've recovered well from that one goal, that unfortunate goal that was scored. How do you think it's going, Chris, after 30 minutes?
We're playing at a much smaller pitch, Patrick, and I'd actually like to see us try and squeeze the game up a bit more. We've got quite a deep line, and our strikers are quite high, and there's a lot of space between the lines. I'd like to see us try and squeeze this game up a bit more. Ross Peters maybe have a higher starting position. They've got a fair bit of speed up front, but I think Ross could come in and sweep things up fairly well. But we need to get the connection between the lines, because at the moment it's not happening for us. But certainly when Ethan Gilson-Clark and Ethan George have linked, and certainly Matt and Sean as well, we've done well. But that's another goal for the Shetlands as the ball's come in, is not defended well, and number 17 Thompson has scored for Shetlands. Simple crossing from the right hand side, and no one really took control of that from the Falklands point of view. And it's through, and there was a bit of confusion between Peters and Steer, I think, and 17's just nicked in and managed to nick it in the net from about 2 yards out.
You know, every time I give you this phone, they score. Good night. Good
I was going to say that.
Yeah, good night, Chris. You've done well for us tonight. Thank you. It's so strange, isn't it? But it was another defensive mix-up, I'm afraid to say there. But I think there was about 3 of our players a bit guilty of sort of leaving it, and Shetland Islanders didn't need a second opportunity to stick that, and it just sort of rolled harmlessly into the unguarded net. So unfortunate for the Falklands, but that's the way it goes in football. Sean East doing very well once again on that far side of the field, but eventually he loses out, but the ball comes off a Shetland Islander, so the throw into the Falklands. 2-0 down here after 32 minutes in this group game, the last group game. Regardless of who wins, there will be another game for the Falklands on Thursday for playoff places, so that'll be something to play for. They could play Freuer, they could play St Helena. Everybody wants to see them play St Helena, and so the Saints want to play the Falklands as well, so that'll be interesting if that game does come off. But it's going to be at the Blanchbury Lane field, which is massive, so I think given the injuries that both we and the Shetland and the Saints have, it should be a very interesting game. Jack Bonner now, here's a half a chance. Will he get the shot in? He shoots, and it's the first real attempt at goal. Jack Bonner advancing from his right back position, got well inside the opposition half, took a shot at goal, but it went straight into the arms of the goalkeeper, Rory Henderson. So there's room in here, Brianna, inside. I think that has come off Torren Hart for a throw-in. No, sorry, it's going to be a corner, I think. Yeah, corner over on the right side. There's not been many corners from that side of the field tonight. They've all been on the left down here in front of us. So Sam Maver will take that one. He's going to swing it in with his left foot from the right wing. This is the way they do it. And in it comes. It's a high ball, and there's a foot went up from Matt Francis. So I think that will be another corner kick over on the far side, once again to be taken by Maver. 2-0 up Shetland Islands. They're looking for lots of goals, they told me tonight. And well, it's a bit of pushing on there. Poor old Ross Peters came off worse there. He got his hand to it, and then he got another hand to it. And there's Josh Peck. He's advancing away down, and he plays a nice ball through to Ethan George. Still going forward with the ball. Tries to get around one defender, plays the ball back to Jack Bonner, who said, give it to me. Jack Bonner plays it inside to Sean East, who's looking for the ball in lots of space. He's forced to play it back up the halfway line to Daniel Steer. Daniel Steer swings a left-footed shot ball in, trying to find Gilson Clark inside the opposition penalty area. And eventually it's cleared, though, by Shetland Islands. And it's cleared only up to the halfway line, where It's lost though, unfortunately, by the Falklands, and now Shetlands get it back on the halfway line, and they're over here now, just down in front of us on the left side of the field, and they're swinging a high ball in, but it's won by Matt Francis to East back to Francis to Toby back to Daniel Steer left-footed down the left-hand side, trying to get Ethan George away, but unfortunately it's intercepted by Lorne McNiven, but it comes off a Falklands player. I'm not quite sure, maybe that must have been an offside. Oh, it was a handball by a Falklands player over there, hit someone on the arm, so it's a free kick just inside the Shetland Islands half. That'll be taken over there, away on the far side, I think by Floors trying to get that number 9, Finn Regan, away down the right, but this time Matt Francis comes in, wins the header and heads it over the touchline for
Okay, resident members to the goal scorers. The first goal was number 8, James Aitken, and the second goal was 17, Harry Thompson.
Well, now they've changed it again, the first goal scorer. It was Aitken, it was Regan, and now it's back to Aitken again. Yep, that's what Chris said. Chris said straight away it was Aitken. Right, what's happening now? Nice work there by the defence, by Sean East. He plays it through to Matt Francis, but Matt unfortunately loses the ball, but so that puts the Falklands under a bit of pressure again, and but Toby comes in and wins it, and Toby tries to find Gilson Clark, and he does find Gilson, and Gilson Clark plays a lovely ball through to Ethan George. Ethan George, can he get a shot in? Will he get the shot in? Or no, he just hesitated. He just took that too long. He wanted a little bit too much time. A shot was needed. Yes, and Chris is frustrated alongside of me. He should have had a go, shouldn't he, Chris?
Yeah,
he should have had a shot. He just wanted to get that
back to his right.
Yeah, he wanted to turn it back and make a bit more space, and you don't get time to do it. No criticism of the lad. It was just that he wanted to be sure. But we're away again with the ball down that side, and it's George and Gilson Clark, the two Ethans combining well. And down goes Gilson Clark, but there's no free kick. So Shetland's come clear with the ball, and they play it through, and our defence is caught out here a little bit because we had players forward, and there's Reagan on the right-hand side of the field who crosses a long high ball, and it could be no, it doesn't. A scissor kick was attempted there by Maver, but didn't come off, but the ball's still with Shetland Islands. They're still attacking, still inside the Falklands penalty area, and there's a bit of a missed kick by one or two of our players, but finally Sean East on the edge of his own penalty area manages to clear it, but it only goes as far as Farmer heads the ball, kicks the ball in, and Karen Hart once again. His headers tonight have really been fantastic, and he was very happy just to head that once again over his own goal line to give a corner to the Shetland Islands. And how many times has Torren done that in the 3 games where he's won the ball in the air using his height and heading ability? It's going to be a corner from the left, a right-footed in-swinger. It's a high one, and Ross Peters goes up and collects it well and throws it to Ethan George. So just can't get away. He just lost control, but Sean East comes in to help him, and he gives it to Reyes. Reyes hands it back to Gilson Clark. Gilson Clark to Reyes. Reyes now trying to find George. Reyes came in there with a bit of a shaky tackle and practiced a free kick for Shetlands, and they've taken it very quickly. And it's man I haven't mentioned too much tonight. Thompson gets the ball back to Reagan, and we are in danger as that ball comes swinging in towards the camera here that FITV have recording this game, and Josh Beck is going to take it right down in front of us, and Beck bounces it off my knee, and as he's going to take it, I'm just sitting here. This lady will probably be after me at half time to move, and I won't object then, of course not. But anyway, on with the game, and there's a tussle down here in front of us inside the Shetland half. Falklands are trying to win that ball and get something moving. And this time Charles Hart doesn't win it in the air, but Daniel Steer does. and he plays it through to Josh. Josh Peck to through to Toby. Toby holds the ball well, plays it through to Deck. Deck back to Josh Peck. Halfway inside the Falklands half. Josh comes forward 3 paces. Long high ball, trying to find any of the 2 forwards, the 2 Easons up there. But Sean East wins it. Nice control by Sean East. Plays it through to Matt Francis, who's attacking from left back. Matt Francis he just doesn't give the ball away, and they have to foul him, in fact, but he still wins that ball. But this time he, I think, was deprived of the ball by a foul. It might have been another foul over there on that side of the field. All the free kicks for the Falklands are coming from the left side, where Francis and George and Gilson Clark are causing quite a lot of bother to the big strong Shetland defence. The boys in blue from out of Scotland, or the Northern Islands of Scotland. Matt Francis, yep, long high ball comes in. Daniel Steer goes up, doesn't win it. Reyes wins it. Free kick. Must have been a bit of pushing in there or something like that. Yeah, must have been a bit of pushing, I think. 40 minutes, I make it, gone. 2-0 for Shetlands. And a free kick to be taken by Rory Henderson, a bearded player, the goalkeeper in green. And the ball's coming over here. Declan manages to win it and passes it to Gilson Clark. Reyes was a little bit slow to pick that one up, and Falklands has lost the ball. And it's a low ball coming in, which Sean East probably will get, but he doesn't quite make it. But Josh Peck wins it, but Josh can't quite get the ball away, and we're still under pressure. But this time, the ball from Harry Thompson with his left foot goes right across in front of the goal and to the edge of the penalty area. Ross Peters comes out, picks it up, and now he's trying to find Ethan George over there. But there's a tussle going on the far side. Matt Francis is involved. Matt manages to get the ball away, but not far enough. But this time it comes off a Shetland Island player and runs through to Josh Peck. Josh Peck just clears that ball down the left, trying once again to get Ethan George away. But unfortunately, interception comes in from the Shetland Islands right back. Thomas Smith, they've got the ball back in their own half, and the central defender McNiven is quite happy to play the ball back to his keeper. And the keeper kicks it high, trying to find Reagan over on the right, and Reagan picks it up. He comes back, he comes inside. He's playing the ball into the centre circle, and it's won very well there by Jack Simpson. Jack Simpson plays the ball forward to Reagan. Reagan going down the right, and Matt Francis challenges him well. And Matt Francis wins the ball, but then he loses the ball, and he wins the ball again, and this time it bounces off his heels, and will go for a throw-in down close to the corner flag for Shetland Islands. It's a cool evening here today. It's the, how can I say it? It's not cold, but it's certainly the least warmest day that we've had since the game's opened. Quite a bit of rain there early this morning as well, but nothing too desperate. There's sort of a bit of a shaky sun coming out here at the moment. As the throw-in comes in, Shetland still have that ball back and forward between one, Reagan inside to Smith to Thompson, and there's a tussle going on the far side of the field, and it comes off the Shetland Island player, and it will be a goal kick for the Falkland Islands to be taken by Ross Peters. 2 unfortunate goals for the opposition, when I say in terms of Shetlands, with I think we say 2 defensive little mistakes there. One from Ross, unfortunately, and one a mix-up between about 3 of our players, really, which gave opportunities which Shetland Islands gratefully took. Daniel Steer wins it in the air, but it's just not falling to our players at the moment. It's falling always to a Shetland Island player. They seem to be just taking that step forward and winning that ball almost every time. Gilson Clark wins it nicely, holds it, takes control, plays a nice ball over here to Deck Bonner. Deck Bonner advancing forward now, seems to have shaken off that little injury he had. He's halfway inside the opposition half. He twists and turns a little bit. He plays it inside to Gilson. Can Gilson Clark get a shot in? He does! Oh yes, a good, but it is over the top. Well, you heard the sounds coming from the Shetland Islands, but he did well. He hung on to that ball. Dec Bonner did well to give it to Gilson Clark. Gilson Clark took nice control of the ball, came inside one of the Shetland Island players, and quite rightly took a shot at goal, but it went a bit high, I'm afraid, and bounced off one of the trees at the back. But it was an effort, and it's good to see the boys taking those shots. Out comes the kick. Heads go up. Torrin Hart finally gets his head to it, and Shetland's win it again. It's back here to Farmer. Farmer inevitably finds Adamson. Adamson inside to Thompson. Thompson to Simpson, and now it's away over on the far side once again. And it was Sir Thomas Smith plays it in, trying to find Reagan. This could be a bit of danger for the Falklands. A long high ball comes in. Oh my goodness, how did that miss? Oh, Reagan did well. He turned inside, Matt tried he crossed that ball over. Sam Mather at the back post, stuck his left foot up, and it went agonisingly wide for Shetland's, just past Ross's left-hand post. So the score remains at the Northern football ground at Northfield. It remains Shetland's 2, Falklands 0. Ethan George plays it back to Reyes. Reyes to Daniel Steer. Daniel Steer plays a short ball to Sean. Sean East back to Matt Francis. Matt Francis retains possession. He's under pressure, a lot of pressure, but he retains possession. He finds Reyes, but Reyes, unfortunately, a little bit too slow there on the ball and loses possession. He does challenge back well, and he forces the Reagan put in a shot coming in there now. And there's a tussle going on, and Ross Peters is brave, and he comes out and he's taken a knock, absolutely taken a knock. It was really going to be one of those balls where he had to come and take a chance of taking a kick, and he bravely came out and took it right off the feet of Declan Adamson, who was challenging in there. Long high ball to the halfway line, won by Shetlands in the air. And it's down the right-hand side of the field once again. Reagan's seeing a lot of that ball over there tonight, the number 9. And this time, though, he's caught out by Sean. Sean East plays it, though, back to Daniel Steer. And Daniel Steer holds the ball, plays it to Sean. Sean East to Matt Francis. Matt Francis plays it to George. George, though, is tussling for the ball. He manages, though, to hang on and pass it back to Dan Steer. Sean East looking for the ball everywhere. He's all over the field looking for that ball. And this time, the Falklands retain possession to Matt Francis. Back to Dan Steer again. And Dan Steer turns and he's trying to get something moving, but unfortunately he's had to go backwards to Josh Peck, who plays a high ball up, trying to find Dec Bonner, but Dec isn't the tallest man in the world, and he gets out-headed there by the big left-back Farmer. But the Falklands here still trying to get an attack going, but it's just not going for them at this moment. So it's half-time. The whistle goes for half-time here, and the scoreline is Falklands 0, Shetland Islands 2. Two defensive errors, unfortunately, there. We believe Aitken now seems to have been credited with the first goal, finally, and Thompson got the second goal. So it's 2-0, which I suppose, on reflection, we'll be happy to take. What's your thoughts on this, Chris Synan? And they can't score now, Chris, because they're walking off the field.
Take the pass the phone to me now, Patrick. Yeah. It's been a tough half, to be fair. The Shetlands are a very, very good footballing side. Aitken and Simpson in the middle, number 8 and the number 20 for Shetland Islands, have really controlled the midfield, and aside from that have been willing runners for the front three as well for Shetland Islands, offering to go beyond them when needed, and also being there for a pass back to restart attacks as well. Again, as within this one, the fullbacks as well from the Shetland Islands have been really involved and have always been the outball for the central midfielders and the defenders to really start attacks against the Falklands. I think the Falklands have showed some good flashes in terms of Ethan Gilson Clark and Ethan George trying to link up, and we've seen Sean and Matt really trying to link up as well on the left-hand side, and there's something in that. I think Ethan's shown some really good touches, and we've had a couple of opportunities when we maybe could have done better. and hopefully in the second half we'll maybe make one of those count and maybe convert that into a chance. But so far, Shetland Islands really well on top and probably good value for their 2-0 lead.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris Ireland. So there we go, half time, 2-0. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half live here. And until then, I will say goodbye for now and hand you back to Karina at the radio station.
What can you do? I'll head you over there. So, what is going on with this?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah, it's probably safer. Yeah.
Come on, mate. Come on, Alex. Come on, Alex.
Are they wrong? Yes.
trouble, in trouble, in trouble, in trouble, in trouble, in trouble. Oh, no. I said 15 minutes, so I suppose that's why she's waiting 15 minutes. Yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah. Hi, it's Triana. Can someone ring Patrick, please? Hello? Okay, yeah, because it just started like that. Hi. She's just trying to phone you, Patrick. Karina's just trying to phone you. Karina's just trying to phone you. I just called now.
Oh, I'm switched on.
Yeah, sure are.
I don't know why it's not ringing.
Yeah. Hotels. Well, hotels.
Yeah. Nothing coming. She must be phoning the wrong number or something. Is Karina trying to find me? Harry signed off. Karina signed me recently. What's happening? Yeah, should be not hearing a thing. Here we go, now it's ringing. Yeah. Hello? Hi. Yeah. You got me? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, we're underway. Yeah, as soon as you like. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it?
When you shout.
Yes, I am. Yep. Right up. Yep. Yep, second half is underway here now at Northers' ground. Falklands are playing Shetland Islands. Just went ahead of him and passed him and ran out for a goal kick. It was the first chance of the second half for the Falklands, which is a couple of minutes old. 2-0 for Shetland Islands here. And in this group match, the final group match of the phase, and with the playoff matches to come on Thursday. The 4 teams that win their groups will go through to the semi-finals, and the rest will play off for places to see who finishes 5th right down to 16th. Once again, there's pressure from the Falklands. 3 or 4 men up. Matt Francis tussling for the ball now, but unable to quite control it, so loses out to McNiven. McNiven played to high ball, but Torrin Hart comes up from his central defensive position and wins the header on the edge of the centre circle and heads it out for a throw-in to Shetland. Shetland Islanders now pushing the pressure on. They want more goals to give themselves an outside chance still of winning this group. If the result between Unismont and Isle of Man went their way, it could happen. It's still an open group. Throw in be taken by Thomas Smith, throws it inside where it's picked up by Maver. Maver tries to get it across, it's blocked by Toby. Maver still got the ball, he does get the cross, and the ball, well, it could come off. I can't see. Oh, I'm told by Chris that Unismont are 2-1 up over the Isle of Man, so that would secure them the group, I think, wouldn't it? It would secure them the group and a semi-final place for sure. And then, of course, the other big game is the one between the Guernsey and the Isle of Wight, which the estimated crowd tonight was going to be 3,500 for the host island playing Isle of Wight. Both teams have won both their opening matches, going into this one with 6 points each. I don't know if we've even got a line on the score in that game between Isle of Wight and Guernsey, but it will certainly, I'm sure if Guernsey win, there'll be some very happy people here tonight. Anyway, the ball's back in play again. Falklands under a bit of pressure, but Josh Peck's able to get his foot to it and steer it clear, trying to find Ethan George, so forced out of it, and back comes Shetland Islands in session pressure as on the right hand side to Reagan turning inside and plays it across, but down goes Ross Peters and safely grabs that ball.
2-0 Isle of Wight.
Isle of Wight are beating Guernsey, the host island, 2-0. Oh no, that is going to be quite sad if they lose out and they're not in the semi-finals. What's going to happening here now? The ball's out. I think it's Daniel Steer looks to be down, and I think he looks to be out as well because he's lying with his hands on his head, flat out. And now yes, the referee has given the physio the nod to come on and have a look at him. Oh, he's sitting up, so that's some consolation. I'm not quite sure whether it was just one of those hamstring calves or something like that. I don't think there was any clash with an opposition player that would have caused that trouble. But anyway, it's Daniel Steer that's sitting up and getting some attention now from the young lady physiotherapist that's here supporting the Falklands team. So gives me an opportunity to ask Chris what does he think of the pattern of the game in the second half, and particularly with respect to the way the Falklands have lined it up.
I think again, Patrick, obviously we've seen there just a couple of minutes ago then where Ethan Gilson-Clark broke free again down that left-hand side and had an opportunity to get a shot away. That there's certainly opportunities in the game for the Falklands to certainly get a goal or two. Shetland obviously, as the game goes on, whether their manager will have told them or not about the score for Innismon and Isle of Man, they'll be looking for goals, pushing forward. So there's going to be opportunities, I think, open up in the forward positions for Ethan George and Ethan Gilson-Clark to try and link up and try and get forward and get a goal for the Falklands. But obviously we're going to be under a lot of pressure in the second half as Shetland try to turn the screw in the game. We've got to keep our concentration levels and keep working hard and try and shut them out as much as we can, but certainly opportunities, I think, and there certainly looks like there's a goal in this for Ethan Gilson-Clark today.
Yep, thank you very much, Chris. The ball's back with Ross Peters, and he plays it short to Sean. Sean East to Daniel Steer. Daniel seems to be all right. He's trying to find Matt Francis, and Matt Francis is pushed over or slipped over, I'm not quite sure. Falkland supporters tell the referee that he's got to give a free kick, and the referee, I think, will give a free kick. And in fact, he has a quiet word with the right back Thomas Smith, and sort of says, "No, I don't want to see you doing that again." But anyway, Thomas Smith doesn't seem to be too worried. Josh takes it. Josh Peck trying to find one of the two Ethans up front, but in fact, it falls to Shetland Islands player. Some nice work here. I think that must be. I think it was Jack Simpson. In fact, it was who won that ball. Young lad, looks to be a young lad there in the midfield. But there's been quite a bit of talk about this lad in the competition about his performances. And this time, though, the Shetland Islands left back away over on the far side of the field, James Farmer. He overkicks that ball, so it'll give the Falklands a free kick on the far side of the field. Rest day here tomorrow for all teams, and then it's back in action on Thursday with 2 semi-finals and then the playoff places, as I mentioned previously. So the Falklands will not know the opposition until after all the games are finished tonight. But it does look like it could be St Helena that they will play off against to decide the final places in the tournament. On the attack, Shetlands once again. It's passed over here to Smith. Smith inside, being held by Daniel Steer as well. The hold off Maver though gets the ball out back to Smith. Smith plays it inside. to Adamson, and Adamson plays the ball, tries to play the ball through to one of his colleagues, who I think is pushed over by, couldn't quite see who that was, might have been
Reyes.
yeah, and it's going to be a free kick for Shetlands in a fairly dangerous position, somewhere about 20 yards in from the touchline, halfway inside the Falklands half, probably an in-swinger to be taken by Maver with his left foot, or is it going to be Adamson with his right foot? They're both lining this up, looking at it. Two-man Falklands wall there made up, and in it comes, and it's a left-footed shot, but it's very poor. It was all the way along the ground and well wide off the goal, so Ross Peters just kicks that ball out quickly to Josh Peck, and then it's played back to Ross Peters. What's happening? Oh, there's a substitution coming up for Shetlands. This is always a course for us. The moment when we've got a
Him off.
Who's coming off? Well, we know it's Sam Maver coming off in number 11. And we'll get a quick look at the number of the player who is going to come on and replace him. And we're keeping our look out. Whoever he is, he's going to be going up front on the left-hand side.
Shirt, he must be 18.
Could be Grant. Over on there, we'll soon find out. Anyway, Sean East is tussling away there, trying to get the ball clear, trying to find Matt Francis, and Matt Francis is bowled over, and this time another free kick is given to the Falklands for a foul on Matt Francis. And we still can't get a look at that player who's come on to replace Maver, who was playing sort of a central forward striker's role for Shetland Islands here tonight in this cool evening here in Guernsey, in the Channel Islands, which are actually much closer to France than they are to mainland UK. So who's going to take this free kick? There's a bit of a hesitation there, and the referee finally says, right, get on with it. So Josh Peck takes it, big right foot on it, high, but it's one in the air once again by the Shetland Islanders. And they've got it down here on the halfway line in front of us, playing short balls back and forward between 3, 4, 5 players, getting hold of that. Simpson, Thompson all playing it, goes ahead to the far side of the field, switches play quickly over to the far side where Farmer is advancing once more down that left-hand side, but this time it's cleared by a fairly desperate Toby. Got his foot to it, cleared it well, but it fell very not conveniently for Shetland Islands, and they've got the ball again, and the supporters are getting excited because there's some lovely work there from Jack Simpson, and he twisted and turned and held off several challenges, and they're just content to hold the ball and play it through, and that time it runs nicely for the substitute on the left-hand side of the field, and he puts a long ball shot in and Ross Peters is forced to go down. Conor Grant, we think, has come on, number 18, has come on, so Chris indicates to me it was Conor Grant who's replaced Sam Maver. Number 18 on the subs list, I think he is. Yes, definitely, can see his number there now. So it's going to be a corner kick taken over from the left-hand side of the field by a right-footed player who's going to swing that right into the box and give Ross Peters a lot to do when it comes in. There's Daniel Steer, I think, has been replaced for the Falklands by Andreas Baladeros, has come on to replace Dan Steer, who took that knock a little bit earlier on. A long high ball comes in and it just goes around the back of the goal. I don't know whether anyone got a touch to it. I think someone did, yeah. A touch from Declan Brown. And it runs out for another corner kick over there for Shetlands. In it comes again, and it's headed clear this time by that player for another goal, another corner. Yes, it is, and it's the substitute who's got the ball there now. Grant running into penalty area with the ball, and Ross Peters goes down but doesn't get it, and finally he does. He was in amongst everybody's legs there, taking a great chance, but he grabs that ball safely, throws it short to Torrin. Torrin hoofs it upfield, but unfortunately out over the touchline on the far side of the field on the halfway line. And it's thrown back by Shetland. 2-0, they're leading this game against the Falklands. Goes back all the way to the keeper, Henderson, who's had very little to do tonight. Very easy night, but his kick out isn't too accurate, and in fact goes in front of the dugout where the Falkland Islands substitutes are, and manager Troy Bolton, assistant manager Wayne Clement, and Jimmy Ferrer from the Chagos, who was helping out. Sean East doing some nice work now there, but unfortunately it just runs away from him at the last minute. So Falklands, they're not able to retain possession of the ball as we would like. And now there's danger for the Falklands, because running into the penalty area, they could straight for a penalty, or is it a penalty or not a penalty? Yeah?
He's given it.
He's given it, the referee's given it. I'm not sure who, it was James Aitken brought down number 8, but I don't know who brought him down.
Torrin.
Who?
Torrin.
Torrin Hart, I'm told by Chris, has brought down James Aitken. The referee deems it to be a penalty. So here we go, and it looks like it's going to be Adamson that will take this kick against our goalkeeper Ross Peters. The second penalty we've conceded in the tournament. The first one against the Isle of Man was scored. So let's see now what will happen here. The referee's telling the players to be outside of the area. He's given instructions to Ross, who's bouncing up and down on the line. He can bounce up on the line, but he can't come forward. And he's still doing that. And here comes Adamson, and he directs it for just inside the despairing arms of Ross Peters to make this for Shetland's 3, Falklands 0. After 10 minutes of the second half, a penalty from Adamson, and that clearly says that the game is virtually over as far as the Falklands concerned, but there's a lot of time to go, and there's still opportunities for players to put on a performance, put some pressure on. Baladeros wins it well in the air, and deck bowlers advancing up, way up over on the far side of the field, using their speed, going forward. Can he get a shot in? He does put a shot in, but it's safely into the arms of Henderson. So that's 2 shots Deck's had tonight, both of them saved nicely by Henderson, the keeper. So it's once again Shetlands are on the attack. Josh Peck comes across, intercepts, plays it to Torrin. Torrin seems to have gone, Torrin's gone sort of left back now at the moment, with Daniel Steer off. I'm not sure who's over on the right side. Can't really see. Now Ethan George has got a chance. He's inside the penalty area. He's holding on the ball. He plays it back to Sean. Sean though tried to direct the ball in for Gilson Clark, but unfortunately didn't run right for him. But he's still tackling to get the ball, and I think he may win a throw in off the defender from Shetland. He does. He will whip the throw in, and it's some 20 yards from the corner flag. He throws it he gets the ball back from Matt Francis. Sean East back to Josh Peck. We're back on the halfway line. We've been forced to retreat all the way back. Now, unfortunately, the momentum's been lost, rather. Reyes can't get hold of the ball, and it's a long high ball into the Falklands penalty area, and who's going to win that race? And it's Ross Peters who comes out and just grabs it on the edge of the area and plays it to Torrin. Torrin, a long high ball here, trying to find Ethan George, but the young lad couldn't really grab that. It was a bit misdirected from the back from Torrin, and it goes over the touchline for a throw. So what's going on now? Oh, it's another change, I think, for Shetland. Coming off is Harry Falkland, number 17. We tried to keep track of it, but of course we're not very knowledgeable about the players from the Shetlands, so we have to do a lot of homework beforehand, getting numbers and positions and so on. So I always turn up 2 hours before the game to try and find out as much information as I possibly can, and we'll soon find out who this player is that has come on the field of play. I think it's 14. 14, yeah. I think it might be 14, I'm not quite sure. doesn't seem to be on our list at the moment. It is 14, so he must be someone somewhere, as we say. I can't quite make out who that player is. Lose my paper to them. Oh, here we go. Maybe yeah, sorry, we're just trying to find out who that player is. We do have a list of them off the website, but I'm not quite sure. Oh, Jack McShane has come on. Yeah, but meanwhile, Falklands, is it another penalty or not? No, or is it a goal kick? Lots of shade from the supporters of Shetland Islands saying that should have been another penalty, but the referee wasn't impressed that time, and he will instead give a goal kick to the Falklands. So Thompson's off and two substitutions so far. Deckbon advancing down the right, trying to get Ethan George away. Ethan's chasing into the penalty area, but the defender pushes the ball back to his keeper, who just kicks that ball downfield, and it's, once again Shetlands are attacking over on the left-hand side of the field. That's where all their attacks have come from. Their most dangerous attacks have come down that left side through Farmer and overlapping with Adamson. They really have something worked out really well between the two of them there, and it's giving the Falklands, well, it's giving Deckbon a really hard night. He's worked hard at it, but at times he's quite outnumbered over there. So a corner kick as a result of that header out from Declan. A long high ball comes in and it's missed by everybody. A shot comes in and it's over the bar from the Shetland Islander. I'm not sure, I think that's Liam Flores, the number 15, up from the defence, having a crack at the goal, but he kicked it high, pretty high, over the top, and there's a row of trees right all the way from one side of the field right across to the other side of the field, and the ball bounces in amongst those trees. So, trees everywhere you look around here, actually, massive trees all around the field, all around the other side, behind us, and gives quite good protection. But another Falklands player is down. Who is this? Toby. Oh, Toby's down. Well, Toby was down in the first game, but recovered well to play again last night. He was down last night and managed to continue. So he's certainly not one that will give in easily. If he can continue to play, he will. But if the physio says she thinks it's too risky, then he will come off, of course. I noticed that Troy and Wayne pay a lot of attention to what the physio tells them in terms of players' injuries and who might play and who might not play. Just as a matter for the record, players injured tonight who couldn't take part, who will not take part: Jake Hawksworth, who suffered a recurrence of a hamstring, sadly for the lad; Jordan Betts, who still isn't fit to play at this moment; Malaki Budd, who came off last night, is unfit, cannot play; Eva Mansufu, the Peruvian, who had a great game in the opener, he might have played tonight, but they decided not to risk him. Give him another 24 hours tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure he'll start in the playoff match for places on Thursday night against whoever it will be, Centelina or Freuer. So they've rested him for that game. So we do have on the bench tonight Matt Hansen, the number 2 keeper, who hasn't played just yet. Axel Reed's on the bench tonight. Dane Gilson-Clark, another player who I expect to see play on Thursday. Again, he could have played tonight, but they just didn't want to risk him. Jose Castro, who did play last night, and then Andres Baladeros, who has come on tonight for Daniel Steer. So pretty limited on the bench tonight we are too. 20 players, I think it's the maximum that they're allowed at these Ireland games to bring. So Toby looks to be, is he going off, do you think, Chris, and being replaced?
Yeah, Castro coming on, I think.
Pardon?
Castro
is coming on for Toby, so that injury must have been a little bit more serious than we imagined. So Jose Castro, I think known to friends as Nacho, will be coming on the field of play. and he's on now, and play has resumed. And once again, it's Shetland's on the attack, and it's over here in front of us with number 7, Adamson, who seems to have moved over to the right now, and Torrin Hart is forced to rise high and head that ball away, but it falls once again to Farmer. Farmer tries to get the cross in, and it's blocked over on the far side of the field. Might have been Ethan George back there, was it? Yeah, helping out with the defence. He's a long way from home. We expect to see him more in the opposition half of the field, but he's back helping the defence, and it rebounds off him and hits the trees, but it went over the goal line, so it'll be another corner for Shetland Islands. In it comes again. It's headed clear by Dec Bonner, but only to give another corner kick for Shetland Islands to be taken by the substitute over there on the far side of the field, Grant. Grant takes it again, swings it high, it comes in. Ross goes up to get it, doesn't get near it, it goes over his head and it runs out, and could be another corner. Must have got a touch though, perhaps he did get a touch. One of the defenders did. No, I thought we'd see a quick corner taken there, but in fact we don't. They've decided to wait for a conventional corner to be taken from the right by Adamson. Adamson with his right foot swings it in, a nice high ball. It's a header, it's a chance again, but Ross Peters is there. He's equal to the task. He got down in between two Shetland players and grabbed that ball safely on the ground, and he plays it to Torrin. Torrin, though, has to come back quickly and play it. Oh, Torrin Hart did his best. He passed to Ross. Ross passed it back to Torrin instead of playing it out to the other side of the field, and it looked danger for the moment, but the Falklands do manage to get it clear. And now up here on the top half of the field, Sean East is in there. A lot of energy, the lad. He's tackling away, trying to win that ball back, but just slightly outnumbered again by the taller player from the opposition side, the Shetlands. And the ball is with the Shetland Islanders with Farmer. And it's played to Floors. Floors playing the ball forward to the left-hand side to Grant. Grant playing it in, trying to find Reagan. Reagan does win the ball from Josh Peck. Reagan's still got the ball. Reagan's going into the penalty area. Reagan going for will he get a shot? And he's still got the ball, but this time he overruns it. He loses it to Matt. Matt Francis manages to get it cleared to Gilson Clark. Gilson Clark trying to find on the far side to find George. George does get it. Ethan George goes forward. He's still going forward with the ball. There's two Falklands players up. A long high ball comes in. Nice shot, but straight into the hands of the grasping Rory Henderson. He grabbed that one, but some nice work there from the Falklands, and we did end up with a shot at goal, so well done to the lads over there. Up goes the headers, and Matt Francis wins it in the air, but it falls to Shetland Island player. Over on the far side is Grant. Grant twisting, turning, coming in. He's challenged there by Baladeros. Baladeros manages to block the ball, and it's Castro's trying to get hold of it, but he just wasn't able to grab that ball, and it's fallen to Adamson again on the right hand side. He's seen a lot of the ball here tonight. It comes in, the cross comes in, and I think that flashes over the bar. It might have been a touch. Yes, it was. Chris Island says to me he definitely got a touch on it. I've lost count of the corners, but there must be 20 or more corners for Shetland tonight, Chris, I think, isn't there? Yep. In it comes, a high ball. Up goes Ross went up, missed the ball, it fell, bounced off a defender and into his hands. So a little bit fortuitous there for the Falklands. Throw in on the far side of the field to be taken. Well, what happened there? Was it an illegal throw? In fact, the referee says it is a Falklands throw. So it's gone to the man in red, Dec Bonner, with his red shirt and white shorts, blue socks. That's the Falklands colour tonight. Shetland Islanders are all in blue with the white socks. 3-0 they lead in this group match. It may not be enough to see them through to the semi-final, so it's looking very much like Yunus-Mon are going to take that semi-final place away from them and from the Isle of Man, who are, of course, the gold medalists from the last time football was played in the Island Games, which was back in 2017 in Gotland when they hammered Greenland 6-0. Ball's back in play, twisting, turning, Adamson again. And he manages to get the ball through there to the number 20, and the ball is packed. Well done, the Falklands. They managed to get that ball clear, but it's only up the field here to find the defender on the right-hand side, Thomas Smith. Oh, it's definitely an offside decision. So Falklands will feel that they'll need a little bit of time to take this, relieve the pressure. It's a long high ball going in, one in the air. Once again, Reyes manages to get a knee on it this time, and the ball bounces harmlessly through to Henderson, the Shetland Island goalkeeper. Tall lad in green with sporting a beard. I did hear that Matt Hansen might get on the field tonight to give him an opportunity to play in the Island Games. We'll see if that does actually transpire. It's Grant, the substitute on the far side. He's got the ball over there. Deck Bonner's trying to keep him off, but Grant's coming into the penalty area with the ball, and it might have, no, it didn't come to get a touch off a Falklands defender. Grant just overran the ball this time, so it'll be a goal kick for the Falklands. And, trying to work out who, oh yes, it was McShane, wasn't it, who came on, the number 20 who, no, it was Jack Simpson, sorry, the number 20 who had that opportunity. Right, changes coming up again for Shetland. After Addison, number 7. Also going up to number 8.
Floors and Aitken.
Number 8.
Yeah, Aitken.
Yeah.
And Floors.
Maybe 3 coming on, 3 changes. Oh no, not 3 all at once, please. We've got to try and keep
He's
track
gone.
of it.
He's gone. He's gone.
He's off?
Yep.
And Floors is off. So they're bringing the changes here now.
He's on. Cub.
We'll have to try and work out in a minute when we get a break in play who's come on for Shetland Islanders. 3 quick changes here, of course, and you don't get told through any system about who they are by anybody. You've just got to work it out yourself here, I'm afraid. That's the way it is. So, away down the left-hand side is Grant again, the substitute, heading into the penalty area, passes it across, and Deck Bonner is just happy to kick that over into the trees to give away yet another corner kick over on the left-hand side of the field for Shetlands. 3-0 up they are. Their supporters, they are hoping for more than that, to give them an outside chance of qualifying for the final, but it isn't going to happen. I don't think we'll get the...
Still 2-1 Innismon.
Still 2-1 for Innismon, which will give them maximum of 9 points and a semi-final place. And it looks like the Isle of Wight are going to grab the other semi-final place against the host island, Guernsey. Long high ball comes in, and Ross manages to take it off the head of the on-rushing Shetland Islander. Did well there to come out and grab it. He's earned his money tonight, all right, has Ross. Kicks the ball high this time, trying to find one of the 2 front men, Ethan Gilson Clark or Ethan George, but it finally falls nicely to Reyes. Reyes to Sean East to Josh Peck. Josh Peck trying to find Castro. If Castro this time might get it, yes he will. But oh, his ball is poor. That was a poor back pass, and it fell straight to a Shetland Island player. Deck Bonner was forced to come in there with a saving header to stop another Shetland Island attack, but they've got the ball once again on the halfway line, and they're just passing it back between each other. They're over on the far side of the field, and it's Grant playing the ball through to one of the other substitutes, and it's Reagan coming in there now. I haven't seen quite as much of him in the second half as we did in the first. Finally Deck Bonner manages to grab it and plays it through to Torrin Hart to Josh Peck playing the ball up, trying to get Gilson Clark onto it, but the ball runs harmlessly through to the goalkeeper Henderson, who's right in on the edge of the penalty area and just throws the ball out to one of his defenders. And it's the boy with number 5 on his back who's come on there. I'm not quite sure who that lad is. Thomas Smith in front of us, got the ball. Interception there by Reyes. Reyes wins that ball, but immediately it's given away, and Dec Bonner goes back and nicely plays it back, heads it back very conveniently to Ross Peters, who was coming out. So some good defensive work once again by Dec. Shawnees plays the ball back to Baladeros. Baladeros scored off that wonderful free kick last night. Tries to get one of the two young boys going. Now here's Ethan Gilson-Clark playing the ball through for Ethan George. Can he get on it? No, he can't. He's just run off the ball there while the defender Farmer just running off the ball. Baladeros so wins it. He plays a nice ball through to Shawnees. Shawnees going into the penalty here. There's a chance for Ethan Gilson-Clark. Hey, he scores! And he scores! Yes. Does he get a goal? He does. He scores a nice move. And Ethan Gilson-Clark gets the goal he deserves with a wonderful shot just inside the post. Beat the keeper, all ends up. Really nice pattern of play there involved. Baladeros started it all just in front of us. Played through. Shawnees got the ball. Looked like he was going to go left. He didn't. He turned inside right. Played the ball through to Ethan Gilson-Clark. He took 2 steps forward to his right, caught the defence out, and he put a lovely ball shot into the net, right past the keeper. And the Falklands have got a goal here tonight against Shetland's, the second goal of the tournament. Beautiful goal, another beautiful goal. Chris Arnon, your impressions of that?
Thoroughly deserved, Patrick, for Ethan. His work rate in all 3 games has been outstanding, and really he's led the line fantastically well for the Falklands in the Island Games this year. He's had some great touches today. Trying to feed in some players, probably trying to turn provider today more than getting on the end of things themselves. But lovely footwork from Baladeros to start the move. He came in, it was a 50-50 ball. He managed to flick it away from the midfielder, slot it through to Sean, and Sean didn't take too many touches, found the pass early to Ethan, and a quick step inside and a fantastic shot into the bottom left-hand corner.
Yep, there's 2 really nice goals we've scored in this competition. One from Baladeros, one from Ethan Gilson-Clark. And well deserved, indeed. Because my goodness me, he's worked hard, has the lad, and against stronger opposition, and so often he's been there on his own. And who's that coming? What's happening there then? Is there a change? I can't quite work that out for the Falklands. Torrens. Was Torren off the field for a bit or something? Anyway, I see him running back. I'm not quite sure in all the excitement of that goal, but he's in action straight away. He wins the ball to Dec. Dec Bonner tussling away, and Dec Bonner plays a nice ball to Reyes and is trying to get the boy on the far side, Ethan George, going, but not quite able to do so. But renewed effort from the Falklands. Baladeros intercepts well. The ball falls to Ethan George. Ethan George, so unfortunately his header just fell wrong for him and went to a player in blue. 3-1 now. The Falklands have another goal. They've scored 2 in this tournament now. Both excellent goals. And they're battling away. They're battling well here still. Not throwing in the towel at all. 3-1 looks so much better, doesn't it, than 3-0. Throw in for Shetland Islands. And well, now where is that? It's going to be a free kick. It could be on the edge of the penalty area, or is it in the penalty area? Big shout went up from the bench of the Shetland Island team claiming a free kick. They're going to get the free kick, but I think it's going to be outside. Is it on the edge of the box, or is it a pen? I think he's given a penalty, hasn't he? Yeah. Ah, well. That looked... Well, I think it was Baladeros who gave it away. Again, you know, I don't want to be biased, but it did look pretty feeble penalty, I thought. But there we go. A referee has decided it will be a penalty, and it's going to be number 14, whoever that may be, that's going to take the penalty. And we don't really know who that player is because you think he's one of the substitutes that has come on.
It's 14.
So here we go. He shoots it in. 4-1 out of and it makes the score now Falklands 1, Shetland Islands 4, two goals from from penalties. Bit of misfortune for the Falklands there, but referee was on the ball. Won't argue with it. He was much closer to it than we are. And Shetlands immediately from the kick-off win that ball and start attacking down the right, and they will win a corner kick away down on the right-hand side of the field this time. Scoring that goal. Yep, I don't know. We'll wait for this corner to come in, and it's danger for the Falklands once again. The ball's still not clear. It's bouncing around, and finally Castro manages to get it clear, plays it through to Matt Francis. Matt holds the ball, still holds the ball, and this time when he's pulled over, we've got a very irate table tennis player there who is telling the referee that he should get a better grip on this game, because our player being, I thought, really probably deserved a yellow card, the Shetland Islander, for that. He was really pulling and tussling Matt Francis. Matt plays a long high ball in. It's headed clear by Shetland. Deck's up there trying to get hold of the ball, but it runs through to Torrin Hart. Torrin Hart comes inside with the ball, shows a bit of footwork, trying to find George on the far side. Falklands get it through Reyes. Reyes plays it through to Shawnee. Shawnee's coming forward, plays it through to Reyes. Shawnee's still low, plays it back to Baladeros. Baladeros then is forced to play it back a bit further to Matt. Matt Francis holds the ball, plays it through to Sean. Shawnee's comes forward, showing nice control with the ball, plays it to Baladeros. Baladeros was hoping to get from Park on it, but didn't quite reach it, and it's been deflected by the Shetland Islands. But some more good build-up work initiated there by Baladeros. And there's a bit of pushing going on there, and Reagan is a bit angry with Baladeros and the Baladeros. I think, does he get the yellow? I think he picks up a yellow card. I think Andreas picks up a yellow there because of his little bit of tugging. He was doing a bit of pulling, I think, there on the opposition player on Reagan. He took exception to that. And look, for a moment we might have had a little confrontation between the two, but anyway, it's all quietened down now. And the result of that was that Baladeros got a yellow card, but why the opposing the Shetland player didn't get a yellow card for pulling Matt Francis down just a bit before that, I do not know. As I mentioned, one of our Chilean table tennis players got quite irate and was almost on the field protesting to the referee. Okay, so it's going to be a free kick. Now it's all quietened down for Shetland Islands on the right. Matthew Hansen's looking like he's getting ready to come on. He wants to come on, and the referee's been, looks like another change is being made. I thought perhaps Matthew was going to come on. I'm not sure who's that come on now. Is it Axel?
Axel for Matthias Reyes.
And Axel's come on for
Matthew for Ross.
Axel's come on for Reyes, and the goalkeeping change. Matthew Hansen comes on for his first Ireland game action, and he will come on for Ross Peters to give him a chance. And I hope his first touch to the ball won't be to pick it out of the net, because the shot comes in, but it's high and over the bar and into the trees. So his first touch in a pack will be probably to take the kick. Much taller, of course, than he must be 6'2", I guess. Sturdy boy is Matthew, so he certainly have the advantage in the air compared with Ross. Some are probably 6 inches or 8 inches taller than Ross he is. Matt Francis passes it nice, holds the ball and passes it to Torrin. It goes right across our front of our penalty area, a little bit dangerous looking, but the boys are hanging on to it. And it's young Axel Reid who plays it to Deck Bonner. Deck Bonner plays it back to Josh Peck to get it clear, but we give it a ball away, unfortunately, and it's a bit of a hustle and tussle going on over there. Right down now in front of us, Matt Francis loses the ball for once, tries to retrieve it with a tackle but doesn't quite make it, and the ball comes across, but Josh Peck intercepts and gets Matt out of some trouble there. Matt Francis playing the ball straight across the area. Not really, a little bit of scrappy play there for once from Matt. And finally, though, it comes through to Sean East. Sean East to Deck Bonner. Deck Bonner plays it back to Balladiros. Balladiros, a little bit of trickery that he's well known for. And nice ball from Balladiros, finds Ethan. But Ethan, George, cannot really get hold of that ball, and he finally loses it to Farmer. Farmer quite content to play the ball back and along and inside and outside, where it's picked up by Castro, but Castro loses control of the vital moment. Matt Francis comes in to win it, but he doesn't quite get hold of it as he would have liked. So Falklands are under a bit of pressure again, but Josh Peck, the captain, comes across and he manages to just take that ball away from the on-rushing Shetland Islander and has to play it over for a throw-in, which is quickly taken now. 4-1 Shetlands winning this game, but the Falklands will get the throw this time. And Josh Peck says, leave it to me, but Matt Francis says, well, I'll deal with this. So he'll probably go up the line here to find Castro. It does. Castro's challenging in the air, manages to win it in the air, and he's pushed off the ball. He's up a go. He's still got the ball on a free kick. And this time, he's just taken out by Smith, and he's rolling on the ground, limping a bit. Sympathies coming from his fellow Chileans from the table tennis team, and it will be a free kick which Balladiros will probably take, or is Josh going to take it? He says to Balladiros, you can take it. But meanwhile, we have a player down on the ground over on the far side of the field. Can't quite see who that is. Declan is down once again. This looks like a bit of cramp, I think, a touch of cramp. He's been all over the place today, up and down the field, doing his best to help his forwards when he can, back defending. He's had a tricky customer there in the second half in the substitute Grant. Okay, well, let's have another update or some comments from you, Chris Ireland, about how you think things have gone so far in the second half.
Falklands have done well in the last 10 minutes, Patrick, certainly. They seem to have got a second wind. We looked a bit like we were maybe lacking a bit of energy in the first 15-20 minutes of this second half, but really putting in the effort in. But obviously now all substitutions that we can possibly have been made. So Declan now lying out, prone on the deck at the moment, getting some attention from Dana, the physio. So hopefully there'll be nothing too much wrong with him and he'll be able to continue. But again, overall, it's been a fantastic performance, I think, from the Falklands. Bags of effort, really working hard to close down the Shetland Island team, who are a good team, who have knocked the ball, used the ball really well. The movement of their front players has been excellent. They've been really impressed with their number 20 as well, Simpson here, who's done a lot of good work in the midfield and produced some really telling passes for their front players to run onto. But all in all, so far, an excellent performance by the Falkland Islands, but I'm sure Troy and Wayne now will have in the back of their mind what's going to be coming up on Thursday, the playoff match. They'll be looking to try and get some boys fit, get some rest in over the next day, so we can look forward to that, whoever we come up against, and try and get a win in that playoff match on Thursday.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Well, there's no action at the moment. You're not missing anything because there's still work being done on Declan on it looks like could be his thigh or something, and physio's patching him up. I think that she's putting plaster on him or something to try and get him through. I think they could, if necessary, bring on Dane Gilson-Clark, who went off in the very first match with a muscle injury of some sort, but he was like 95% fit, I think, tonight, but it was decided to rest him for this very important playoff match on Thursday. And Troy didn't really want to risk him tonight because against Isle of Man he played exceptionally well up front alongside of his brother, and they really combined well together. And I think Troy wants to try and get his best team and his fittest team out for Thursday. So Baladeros will take this free kick on the halfway line into the area. Up it goes. It's cleared though by Shetlands. Torrin Hart puts his foot on it, but unfortunately we lose the ball. But Dak Bonner so quickly back in action after that patch up, and this time he manages to avoid giving the the corner kick away, and it'll be in fact will be a throw in for Shetlands. Torrin Hart intercepts, and he can't do anything else except nod the ball down over his own goal line for about number 30, I would imagine, corner, the 30th corner that Shetlands have had. That's my unofficial estimation, and it comes high. Matthew didn't come for it, but fortunately the header from the Shetlands hit the crossbar, and Matthew's telling them all to get out, to move out, but he stayed at home on that one, and he was a bit lucky to see that ball rebound off the crossbar. I make it 40 minutes have gone, so probably another 5 with a bit of added time for injuries still to go. Getting quite chilly here now and overcast, but still plenty of light, as you'd imagine. There are floodlights on the stadium as well. The header won once again they've won nearly all the headers tonight, except a few that Torrin Hart has managed to win. And here it comes again, and Matthew stayed at home again. And is the shot going to come in? They can't get the shot in, Shetlands, but they've still got the ball. Smith crosses it, Torrin Hart wins it in the air once again, and now a shot comes in, but it's blocked by Declan Bonner. He throws himself in there, his body, he's brave, that boy. Threw his body in and manages to block the shot, which seemed to be destined to head into the Falklands net. And the ball is cleared to the halfway line, but picked up once more by Shetland Island and moved forward fast down the lane. But Baladeros does some really good work and manages to control the ball and plays it through to George. George plays the ball to Torrin Hart, Torrin to Josh Peck. Josh Peck, though, under a lot of pressure, and he has to put Matt Francis under pressure too, and Matt really can't do much because he's knocked over. And Josh Peck, though, retrieves from the error that he made there, and he comes over and puts it out for a throw-in to Shetlands, right down here on the touchline in front of the stand where the supporters are congregated here. Lots of Shetland Island supporters here. And nice work for him. He blocks that ball and he runs to goal, and he forces the Shetland Islanders to kick the ball over the line. No, the referee cannot give a free kick for that, surely not. He does. That's unbelievable. I thought that the Shetland Islander kicked the ball out before he was bundled over by Castro, but apparently not so. Oh well. That's the way it is sometimes. So it's tussling over on the far side of the field in front of the dugouts now, over on the halfway line, and it's going to be a throw in for Falklands to be taken by captain wearing number 4, Josh Peck. Bald head these days, but a nice plenty of hair on his head, on the beard. Oh, and the referee blows the whistle and ends this game with the final score: Falklands 1, Shetland Islands 4. So that is the best result we've ever had against Shetland. We've lost to them 4-0 before, and we've lost 5-0 before. So I suppose that's some consolation that we've scored against them. And of the small islands here, I think we're the only small islands that's actually scored a goal here. Don't think. Did Troy score 2?
Scored 2 against Orkney.
Oh, Freya got 2, yes, I'm reminded by Chris. They got 2 today against Orkney. They lost 2-3. So they had 2, we had 2 goals. The Saints haven't managed to get a goal yet, but they'll have one more game to go. We'll work out the permutations to find out who we play in a little bit. So we'll go and see if we can get a quick word with 1 or 2 players before we leave the scene here.
Ethan, it's a 4-1 loss, but you did manage to grab yourself a goal, and obviously you've had a really good tournament over the past 2 days. I feel like you deserved that goal. I feel like, your hold-up play for the team is good, but how does it feel to get on the score sheet yourself?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, like a win, but you know, what can you do, you know?
How did you feel like yourself and the game plan going into today? Do you think it worked, or was Shetland a bit just too good?
I think first 10 minutes were shaky as. We got into the game, like second half, they scored like 2 goals or something, silly mistakes. But other than that, like, we played well going forward. We had chances in that, but a lot of players are leggy, but that's no excuse.
Final score 4-1, but 2 penalties in there, so you take the penalties away, it's looking at 2-1. So you would, make the argument that maybe a bit more discipline at the end, talking about a 2-1 rather than a 4-1. But what do you think the team could have done better to maybe help the scoreline today?
We need to get up the pitch quicker as a team. That's the main thing. Defensively, we're all right, but getting up the pitch quicker and together and keeping the ball, no silly mistakes, and I'm sure more chances would come.